welcome to another episode of Still Talking. I am your host, Kicker Shaver, and I am on the road to Torrance, California from San Diego, California, where I just finished a show working on the Navy base for the Navy out there. It's a really cool situation to be able to go there and hang out with our military people. As you know, I wrote that song, Soldier's Prayer, and if you follow me on my Facebook and you read everything I post, then you'll notice the pictures. Earlier this month, I was able to perform for the Veterans Organization in the Inland Empire. The Inland Empire Veterans Stand Down, and I got to play where there were some speakers from the State Assembly and from different branches of the military, and really giving thanks to the service members who've gone and served this nation. So it was pretty cool to be and experience there. When I go and perform my song, what I like to do is I like to play that music video in the background of A Soldier's Prayer. So if you guys haven't heard that one yet, it's on here somewhere. It's an old music video, about 5 years old now. And I wrote that song as a tribute to our military and those who serve their nation, their country, as a soldier. And, put myself, imagine what it would... Well, really, I wrote it after 9/11. It was a tribute after 9/11 that I wrote as something called the Heroes Collection. You can go to poetrypoem.com/kicker. And you can tell it's a really old website that I don't even know if anybody still monitors it or they've done anything to modify it. But, just go to click to read my poetry, and it's got tons of old poetry I wrote, old patriotic poetry. And that song was associated. So, again, as I was mentioning earlier, up on my page, you can look and see the awards, the certificates of appreciation that were given to me for my part in trying to inspire those who serve this nation and being a positive influence to those who do and have served. And as a result of writing that song way back then and putting it on in a music video, back in 2012, and being able to go and perform it, my dear friend Kismet Evans, I love you so much. You're such a precious woman with such a beautiful heart. And to see you the way that, she had me honored by my participation with all those certificates. And it is such a humbling experience to have all of those things. And mind you, I'm so honored by it. It's such a beautiful gift to receive. It reminds me, if you've seen the music video, it reminds me of my friend Skip Hawk. I love you too, bro. And he's one who serves his country. And my guitar strap in the music video is actually from an assault rifle that is a military issue. So that is one of my most prized possessions as well. And so just touching on that, wanted to mention that honor that I received there. It was just such a beautiful experience to have gone through such a transition, to stand there and perform looking like this when I used to look like the guy in the music video. That's what I used to look like. So it's kind of funny how different I am from so many years ago of even writing that song to now. Leading into the title of this episode, which is, what is it? Tired, sick, sick in the mind, body, and funny. I just left it saying funny because it was funny, but I had originally said body, and you see me driving, so I used my voice to text to do it. So, it has been a very interesting week because I've been sick, but I've been anxiety sick. Severe anxiety sick to where my dips have been really low in the angst of curiosities of whether it's a chemical imbalance or psychological issue, I haven't discovered yet. As you see me go through my learning and ask all these questions that I have, the questions that I ask on Facebook are nothing like the questions that I have in my mind that I ask that are really, they're super duper. They confuse me. I don't understand why a body can feel the way that a mind can think differently. I don't understand why you can want something and not do it, and not want something and still do it. I don't understand that part of humanity, even inside myself, where there's a strong desire for something, but the body rejects the idea, or there's a strong yearning for something, but the mind rejects the idea, and it's such a confusing process inside of humanity when we long for something that we want, and our discoveries just spin us in emotion. And when I say us, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just crazy, but I have been in such an emotional state. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a caller coming in from Texas. We will see if he wants to be on the show. You are live with Kicker on Still Talking. Is this my brother Brian? Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm assuming he could not hear me, or he did not want to be on the show because he hung up. So, I am going to do a short commercial break, and I'm going to talk to my brother for a second, see if I can't get him on the line. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Quick send off. Wait, he's calling back. We'll see. See if it works this time. Are you there? Can you hear me? Hello. Can I hear me? No? Not working. Not working. So, I see that there's some people here. I can't see who you are because I'm driving, but thank you guys for being here. You know I love you guys. Got a little scruff going on today because I've been so dead and lacking the capacity to move in this sick feeling that I've been feeling for so doggone long. And that's another reason, I haven't really been doing a lot of broadcasting between that and work, but I've just been so doggone down, and it sucks because I was in San Diego, and San Diego is a doggone happening town, y'all. It's a freaking beautiful place. I love it. But I'll be danged if I wasn't, stuck in a bed for, all day Thanksgiving. I was down, 14 and a half hours down, and really just stuck in between thoughts and emotionally drained because of the spilling of adrenaline. It seemed a lot like somebody was handing me bad news, one person after another, just standing in a line waiting to deliver bad news. I don't know if you're familiar with the story of what Job went through in his life when he was tormented with loss. And of course, I don't put myself in that position, but I feel like I can relate to the guy's experiences when, you know, he lost his kids, he lost his everything. He lost everything. He just lost everything he had. And it was one servant after another who came to tell him, I'm the only one that made it to tell you that everything else is gone. Everything you left me in charge of is all over. You got nothing left. And then just boom, hit after hit after hit. It feels like that's happening inside my body. Which you can, I mean, if you can imagine what that feels like on the inside, to just feel that feeling burst after burst after burst of horrible news. And if it's just a chemical release inside your body, it's a confusing situation to be in, to where your body just, you know, confuses you with this chemical reaction. And I don't know if there's other people out there in the world who suffer from it, or what the name for it would be. I've always associated it to fibromyalgia, the fibrous muscle issue. You know, really, I believe it's a nerve condition where, you know, I have lived a life in a persistent, well, not in a persistent, but in a fairly persistent state of fight or flight, of confused as to whether or not I feel invited in my own skin, and not necessarily being comfortable in my own skin. Self-loathing, self-hatred, pity parties, boo-hoo me kind of lifestyle. And mind you, it's kind of interesting understanding it as an adult is that it's this deep feeling that you get from a chemical release that doesn't even necessarily have to have a psychological association. Excuse me. Ugh. So again, this title being about being sick, and my last few questions these last couple of days throwing them out there about sickness and actually going to work sick. It was kind of great when I was packaging up my products. I still haven't eaten much for 3 days. I had a couple of bowls of soup, and a couple bites of bread here and there, but I've just been really just down and out. So it was really nice when I was breaking down my products. You know, I do the massage chairs, and I was doing it on the Navy base, so I was expended. All my energy was gone. I was just completely out of energy, and I had given my all to my job, which is what I do when I'm present. I really try my very best to be present, no matter how I feel. Which is my challenge to you guys in the world: is how can you feel different, or how can you do different than you feel, even if you have to do it on purpose. I had a few people come to try to help me. I'm not really good at accepting help, so or delegating how to help me. So I pretty much had a few people watching me work, and these guys knew I hadn't eaten all day, and watched me flip these 300-pound chairs around, and the compliment that lifted me up was when they told me. I said, I told them, I said, yeah, I'm actually really quite sick, and they couldn't tell. And that's the beauty of trying to take control over my body, regardless of what my emotions are feeling, regardless of what my body is telling me my emotions are feeling, and just choosing to be something good regardless, and using all the strength that you have in your capacity to benefit the people around you, even if it doesn't benefit you. Of course, now looking back and being able to think back and hear what they had to say to me, and that those compliments that they paid me, well, that's good food, that's good medicine, and it helps me to feel like I'm doing a good job at what I'm proclaiming, sorry, and administering. So if the term is practice what you preach, wow, I'm trying. Actually, I'm doing. I'm actually doing. I'm not just trying. I've got a friend of mine who has an argument about the word trying versus doing, and says there is no such thing as trying, and there is some depth to the concept that I like a lot. Which it's about doing. So I am driving through some pretty nice mountains right now, which that's my thing. If I can get myself into some mountains and try to find a way to feel better. My batteries are low, especially low when I'm getting a beating on the inside. Those lyrics for that song, it says the voices that lie steal your heart. It's that suicide song I wrote about the guy that lives on the inside of your mind trying to convince you to live. And that feeling that happens inside me really puts me in that position sometimes to where, you get the feelings of not wanting to exist, because who wants to feel that way when you're at the ultimate low emotionally? And even if there are surrounding circumstances around you that are exceedingly amazing, I've got people who love me and tell me wonderful things about how they feel about me, and they give me great encouragement. I am going to have to figure out my GPS for a moment here. I think I'm on a toll road, but I didn't know. I don't know what that means. But I think I just totally cruise through a toll road. Use one-time toll express account or fast trip. One-time toll the toll roads within 5 days. Ooh, I'm gonna take a picture of that. Tollroads.com. Set reminder tomorrow noon. Pay tollroads.com for traveling on the 73. Yes, please, and thank you. It's kind of cool, this Google thing and how it works, to be able to let me drive without crashing, because I can talk to it. It's pretty neat. So, back to you, America and the world around, because I know we're all here, not just America. Check you guys out. I love it. I love that I have a worldwide audience. That's a pretty cool thing, to hang out with people all over this here planet, right here in my truck, and let you guys listen to me talk to myself. But really, I'm talking to you. So, and I should probably look at my GPS again and make sure I'm on the right track where I'm going. Let's see. Yes, 56 minutes away from my destination, and might even stop by the warehouse. Nope, it'll be closed. Nobody be there. But back on target to my subject. Somebody crawled up behind me at 80 miles an hour. I'm going to go over and let them pass. If you don't do that for the people crawling up your butt, then you're a bad driver. Especially, if there's a lane next to you, you can move out of the way. Get out of the doggone way. Okay? And I'm going to do a little tangent. little side note, but I'm going to get back onto that suicide song and that feeling as well, so don't think I'm just negating that. But oh, and they're right here. Cool. Fast lane is for driving fast. The one next to it, that's for driving. That's just for driving. If you're just driving, and you got a long place to go, that's what that lane is for. It's just driving. The lane in front of that is for the one getting around the people who are trying to get off in the last one. So if you're just driving on the road and you're just at a smooth cruise level, then you should be in the 3 lane of 4. This is the enter and exit lane. That's what that one's for. Or if you're driving super slow and around the exits, you should go to this one to get around people. So, driving lanes, passing lane, enter and exit lane. If that's how it all works for all of us, for crying out loud, the whole situation of getting places would work better. But, on the same note, enjoy your ride, cruise. Be courteous to the people around you, because nobody else is doing it. You be the one. And if they think that you're a punk, then let them think that you're a punk. Because guess what? Moving out of somebody's way, you would do that in person. You know, imagine if we acted in a grocery store line how we act in traffic. Even though I know some of us still think that way. But back onto that suicide song. My purpose behind talking about that stuff and writing about it is my intent to change the way that I behave, even though I don't feel like it, which is part of adulthood. True maturity is reached when you have control over your emotions with your intellect, because your instincts are no longer driving you. It is your intent, and your intentions can lead you into all kinds of amazing things or all kinds of tragedy. So I'm still trying to figure out the emotional side of understanding life and the things within it. I don't have that part figured out. Most other science I have a pretty firm grip on. I got a pretty good idea of behavior and considerations of behavior. But I don't necessarily understand everything yet. I'm still working on networking, how to communicate in networking, how to properly communicate needs and get them met, all of those kinds of things. But the condition of being in a suicidal mindset, of wanting to extinguish one's own life. Ooh, we're about to hit some traffic. The song is called Sun Goes Around. And the idea is, if you kill yourself, sun's still gonna it's still gonna happen. The whole process of everything going around the sun is gonna happen again. So the lyrics I want to quote says, here I am down in the dumps where you left me again, searching for answers when you know damn well I'm afraid. You judge me and make me this man that's no good after all. You tell me you hate me, then splatter my brains on the wall. And the sun goes around, the world goes round the sun once again. It's easy to stop when you just don't know where you should start. When they all say you're worthless, voices that lie steal your heart. I know you don't trust me. We've both messed up now and again. We've soared like the angels, while rolled like a demon in sin. And the sun goes around, the world goes round the sun once again. It's easy to stop. You just don't know where you should start. When they all say you're worthless and voices that lie steal your heart. I know already said that part. I know you don't trust me. We've both messed up now and again. We've soared like the angels while rolled like a demon in sin. Accused and confused, scratch what's left of my head. If you had your way, I'm sure we'd both be dead. You want to leave here? I'm glad we're alive. You're suicidal. I'm trying to survive. The sun goes around, the world goes round the sun once again. And then, of course, you know, it says that a bunch more times at the end of the song. When I think about the guy that wrote that song, if I can take myself outside of my own personas that I have and evaluate the person that wrote it, it's some darkness. I mean, I was going through some really dark times, and even though I had some influences of love in my life, I felt so incomplete, such a low. And I challenge those of you who go through this same darkness, this same depth, to listen to those lyrics again. You know, if you want to go back and write them down and read it to yourself when you're going through something that's low like that, you know, you are worth it. Recently had a conversation about the late Robin Williams. I had a really great conversation with a retired military couple who came, and we talked about some stuff. You know, they had compared me to him and his humor and his you know, like, of course I get compared to Jim Carrey a lot. And I just learned Jim Carrey is teaching all the stuff I'm teaching. It's freaking amazing that's happening. But we talked about Robin Williams and the suicide, and you know, just a shock. That's such a beautiful creature with such amazing beauty to share with the world, had such deep darkness and needed to escape it, and that depth of consuming emptiness caused him to extinguish something beautiful. It just makes you wonder if a rose looks at itself and hates its thorns. It makes me wonder what great beauty in this world there is, and what great tragedy it is to watch it wither. And to know that someone in this world who was such a beauty, and mind you, not just him. I mean, I know there's lots of people who have gone through that and actually taken their own lives. And knowing that I go through that myself, knowing through that, you know, that I've racked the gun back, y'all. I have racked that gun back and put myself in harm's way, in times of desperation where you just feel that sense of dread, that sense of emptiness, that sense of uselessness, I got a friend of mine on Facebook. She just posted today about a circumstance that she's going through where she, gosh dang it, she's just not feeling very good. And you know, these things on top of our kidneys, our adrenal glands, and our consciousness, our conscious mind of feeling, when those two are in disagreement, when your body is just spilling out these feelings, and it makes you sick. It makes you just completely sick on the inside. And I go through that myself. I mean, I've been going through it all week. Still currently, I mean, I've had a couple of roller coaster moments while we've been on this thing. So, you know, and of course, I don't know if it's, you know, if it's the mind, the body, or the spirit, or the ism, what is it that causes these feelings? to bring you into a position to not believe yourself to want to continue on. I mean, it's such a confusing existence to go through when you have these deep, dark depths where the human psyche can go to put you into a sense to where it really feels like it's not that there's a bottom that you hit, because that would be a place to rest. It's just this constant state of falling where you're falling into this hole, this abyss, and when you look all the way around you and all you see is darkness and the sensation of falling, that's pretty much what I describe as hell. It's regardless of someone saying they love you, you can't feel loved. Regardless of someone telling you you're valuable, you can't feel worth. And those types of self-degradation, of just abysmal existence. So it's something that I understand on an intimate level. It's something that it's tragic to know that other people go through and have gone through it in such a way and have taken themselves to the position to where they've extinguished the beauty that they are. Because when I'm not feeling this way, even though I'm feeling this way, I do have encouragements from a broad variety of people who have given me a sense of worth that gives me something to cling on to. And mind you, I cling on to my faith, my belief in how to portray a Christ-like life as best as I am humanly capable of doing. I'm reaping the benefits of seeing people benefit from it as a practice, as a lifestyle. And mind you, I ain't him, y'all. I'll say fuck, and I will mess things up. I will spill things. I walk into walls. I trip over myself. I hurt myself. I hurt other people. I am not him. But I love you with every fiber of my being. It's funny, I'll tell you what's going on right now is the sensation is hitting me right now like I want to cry. I want to just bawl my eyes out right now. And it's not something I can associate a reason why. Just this is the jolt that I talk about, that just so you can see what's going on. Yeah, there's tears. I call this sensation devastating news. It's like somebody just handed me shitty news. Yeehaw. Fuck. So that was one of those things that I've been kind of going through all week. Kind of leaves you with a feeling like you just finished a race, or you just not finished a race even. That would feel good. Just exhausted body after that feeling like I just want to go to sleep right now, or I just want to, well, the crying I did, you saw that. It was weird. To have that roller coaster, there you go, there you have it, living out loud. It's not a very, I don't feel very good that you guys saw that. I don't feel very good that that happens. But if you go through things like that, there it is. If you're a psychologist, psychiatrist, if you know what that is in medicine, I just got punched in the adrenals. I'm assuming that was I call that my adrenal dump. Just a shot of adrenaline. It feels like somebody gave me bad news, even though you sat here with me. And I've got good news. I'm on my way to see my friend. I'm excited about. So I'm giddy, but this crazy existence, this confusing thing of what an emotion can do to a mind. Now, mind you, when this stuff first started happening to me, which, I mean, I don't know how long ago it dated, but I guess the control that I've learned over it is understanding that it's a chemical. Because what it used to do is it would take me back to my childhood, which was not very good at all. And when I started feeling that way, it would remind me of something that happened that made me feel that way. And then my resentment would set in, and I would have deep resentment and loathing of old thoughts of, the mindset of the voice that would come into your ear to tell you that you're worthless, that would call you worthless and tell you that you didn't have any value. And then, of course, the actions behind it with physical and psychological things, if you're left a sock out, then you have to suck on it to remind you that you don't leave dirty socks out, or you didn't comb your hair, so suck on the comb, or just the things that would make you feel like you're just at the lowest low that you could be, or the different circumstances that you've been in your life that would lead you to feel that way. When your body feels it without your mind's permission, because you don't have anything to associate the doggone thing to, your mind will try to associate, or my mind would try to associate, or at least that's what I've learned, one of my coping mechanisms maybe even, to understand better truth, is that those are feelings that don't have to be mindsets. The way that you feel doesn't have to be the way that you think, because I feel like garbage right now. I mean, my body's starving to death. I know I need food in my stomach, or I'm not gonna make it. But here I sit, day after day after day of just no desire to eat, no desire to put anything in the system, and I feel hungry. So another thing I'm going to look into is maybe also parasite. It'd be great if there was like some type of something in there that's causing this that can be eradicated, because it's such a weird experience. Such a weird experience to go through. You guys, you guys saw it here. If you were here with me, going through that thing, anxiety attack, panic attack. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the title for it is. You know, like I said, I call it an endorphin dump, an anxiety dump, adrenaline dump, whatever. But just the seeping nonsense in my body. So it sucks a lot to go through that feeling. See the slick over there. So now 38 minutes away from my destination as I travel through this space and time. It's kind of interesting sitting here as a man, being a man, and you know, knowing what humility is. It's kind of hard to think that I just let you guys see me go through that little crying spout, or you know, just I guess the ego side of me, knowing that I've shared that with the world now. It's an interesting memory to go back to, because there it is. You guys have seen it. It's a weakness, and I guess maybe that's a good thing. You guys tell me. Maybe it's a good thing to share your weakness with the world, and that way when you're strong, it's that much better. But I gotta tell you, I don't like feeling weak, and yeah, I don't like feeling weak. I like recharging my batteries when they're low, but I really don't like when my batteries are dead, like they are right now. Like that guy was trying to share my lane. I like sharing, but not while I'm here. We can't eat the same bite. So I'm sure I've already talked about 1,000 different things as I continue on my journey to Torrance, California. That commercial break I said I was going to take earlier, I am going to take now. I want to thank you guys for being here with me on this journey. I will probably sign back on soon. I'm Kicker Shaver. It's kind of funny. It's kind of grown on me a little bit. I was super pissed when I was forced to add the Lynn part to my name to Kicker Shaver, but Kicker Lynn Shaver is kind of fun to say, and it sounds super country. So my friend says Kicker Lynn, and I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. As often as I can get it said. So anyway, I have been the host of this here thing I call Still Talking, and my sign off today is this: take a closer look at your emotions and see if they're true, because your emotions don't have to be true. You can lie to yourself all the time and tell yourself something that's true. Your body can lie to you. You can convince yourself that you are anything other than something valuable, beautiful, worthy, and wonderful. And those are lies if they tell you anything other than that. And of course, if you're doing anything other than that, stop it. If you're doing stuff that's worthless, that lacks value, that's not going to benefit you or others, just don't do it. It's not worth it. There's no value in it. It's not wonderful. So, you know I love you with every fiber of my being, and as long as I can be something good in this world, even though I'm feeling something negative, I hope that it did something good for you in this world, and that you can take your emotions and change your mind to think something beautiful about who you are, and share the rose, and even though there's thorns. So I love you. I will talk to you soon. Blessings on you and everything you do.